Did you want me to go or do you want to go?
I have nothing, so you may as well go.
Okay. So at the moment, I have the tractor, but um, working and my radio control device running LoRa, feeding steering signals and transmission signals. So I've been able to get the initial steering working. I say initial because I mean, once I'm ready to test in the yard, it'll be good enough for testing in the yard, but it's more tuning, I would say. At the moment, I'm working on the transmission. The servo's in place. I have what I think is the neutral position, which is important because it's sort of midpoint in the sweep of the servo. Pretty much the next step would be field testing. But before I do that, I need to make stop under control because I don't, although I have a 4-position relay, I still need to do some testing using that relay to receive a kill signal from the eStop switch on the remote control. I also need to physically mount, I have an eStop button to physically turn it off. So I need to mount that. I need to figure out how to secure this laptop as well. So those are things to do before I do field testing. So, but steering is, I would say, reasonably under digital control, and transmission is getting under digital control. These are some of the pinouts that I'm using on this TTGO board. There's two sides to this. These are buttons on one side, and these are buttons, or I'm sorry, butts, not buttons, but pins on the other side. It's interesting that not all pins will do all things, so I've got a few more pins available for analog read. But I've used a pin for steering, pin on the Citron board. I haven't hooked any SDA, anything up that needs an SDA or SCL, so that's still open. That says transmission speed signal. Oh, that's just the signal line for the transmission, kill switch line, and a relay to feed power to the transmission. So making progress. But next step is to get some things in place in order to do field testing. The code is out here on GitHub. There's a link for the radio code, and because I'm using Visual Studio Code, it really deeply embeds stuff, and it's a little bit hard to get to. Well, not hard, but you just have to sort of know where to go. But one of the links, if I'm trying to get to the chat function.
While you're talking
Stop
about that,
sharing.
I'm going to go grab the top off my robot so I can show you how I mounted my laptop. So I'll be back in just a second.
Awesome, thank you.
This is what the top of mine looks like, and it's just simply, it's just a piece of plywood. And I just took, it's aluminum angle, so it's like an inch and a half pieces, and I just put one. This is the back one here, and this is the full height. And I found out I couldn't get the laptop to go in because it was the front was up too high, so I cut like half an inch off this one. And the sides I just got two put on for basically clips on the side so it can't slide around. So that keeps them from sliding around, but the screws are sticking up. So then this is just some like foam tape from the hardware store. They call it weather stripping or something. You just go to the window section and they got rolls of this stuff. And I just put it down. I looked at the back of the laptop to see where it had like air vents or whatever and tried to avoid those. And then as far as the ones on the side, my cables come out the side. It's probably just like yours because like that computer's like the one I've got. And just simply put them somewhere so when you put the laptop in there, you can still plug the cables into wherever they have to go. And then then after that, you can put like a bungee strap across the top or something. Don't use a real heavy bungee strap or it might smash your LCD screen. But just something to put some kind of strap over the top. What's wrong with my video? Huh, I don't know. Turn off my background. Okay. So I hold this
When you
up.
say bungee cord, did you go left or right, Jeff?
Um, on mine, it would be it'd be across the long ways, whatever that is, because mine is actually put on sideways on my robot. So this is the here it says, so this clip says F for front, and this is that says B for back. So that's the front and back of the robot. So let's say it goes like that. I can't see this at the same time. I turn it this way. Okay. So this side is the front of it over here. And then so the laptop lays in there. And so basically I had a strap that went just it was convenient for me. I could just grab a place on the box and then clip it on the box and then run it up over the top. And then I think I clipped on the frame in the back. And the other thing I was looking at, you can go to like Walmart or somewhere that sells material and buy strips of elastic. So you can get like the wide, like 3/4 inch wide elastic, and that's not as strong as the bungee cord. So that might be a better way to do it. Or you could take like say a strap off like a laptop bag, or any those nylon straps like that. Sometimes you get the straps that have a little plastic buckles, so you just put it on and buckle the two together. You just need something so laptop can't pop up above those brackets that you've screwed down to it.
What did you do about the screen? How did you secure the screen?
Well, on mine, I have to close the thing, so it's got to be shut, and then I slide it underneath of something, so the screen is just simply. Uh, I can't see the screen on mine the way mine's set up.
Is there a setting for you to, if I close my screen, it'll go into standby?
There is maybe the BIOS. I don't know if it's the BIOS or in the operating system. I think it's the operating system. So you just click on it. Just do a right click on your main desktop, and under display, I think one of the things says, "What do you do when you close the lid?" And you say, "Don't go to sleep," and then it won't. So it depends if you're trying to look at the screen, then you have to have it open. But especially if it's outside, you probably won't be able to read the screen anyway if it's out in the sunlight. So mine I just have to close the thing and then shove it in. So I can't have the top open on mine.
Close. So you think it'd be in settings or in the BIOS?
I look in here first and look under, say, display down there. Yeah, either power or display there and see it'll say something about what do you do when you shut the lid. Can you scroll down any farther? Sometimes that fools me. I think that's all I got, and then it turns out you can scroll down. Okay, look under display then and see what it.
I'm not seeing any additional.
Yeah, I
Would
don't
have thought it
recall
would
where
have
it is
been
right offhand.
under power.
Or just go out to like do a Google search and say, with HP laptop lid switch or something like that, and I think it'll tell you. People tell you how to do it, where to find the stuff.
Cool. Thank you.
And it's one of those things you just have to play around because you realize, oh, gee, that's not going to work. So you have to go track the stuff down and just what you have to kill these problems one at a time. So you say, oh, now I got to close the lid. So you go do that. Then hopefully that'll solve it
It is
until 5 minutes later.
definitely like an onion.
Yeah. Here, let me adjust my color here. Oh, yeah, it's just not going to work today. I'm just going to be red, I guess.
It's not that bad.
And you might be able to get away if you put those, cut those pieces and screw them down and just drop your laptop into there. That'll keep it from sliding sideways, but as you go over bumps and stuff, it will pop up far enough that it might jump right out of there. So, just something to hold it down. You might be able to use tape right up front, just as a quick thing, just tape the thing down. But it's good to have some kind of a strap. And you don't really have to have an elastic strap. That's why I say if you take an old laptop bag that has a strap on it, and that's not stretchy, you could probably just use that because it just has to keep it from popping up far enough that it doesn't come up out of those brackets. Although if you got the lid open, I suppose now you have to worry about the strap being over the top of your keys. It's gonna be pushing your keys while you're doing it. So that there's just more things you have to work out there.
Yeah, I definitely will do some Google searching on how to keep it from going into suspend.
And that might be in the BIOS, but it's just something you're gonna have to poke at. It might be easier to just ask people up front and then see if somebody says, oh, it's in the BIOS or it's in the settings or whatever. That might be a way to do that.
Yeah, it looks like there's some functions in the OS about critical battery action or oh, that's another thing. I've tested generating 19 volts from 12 volts off the tractor, and now I need to I mean, I guess I don't have to worry about that initially because the laptop battery will last, an hour, a good hour or so. But that's another thing to worry about a little bit later.
Were you able to power it? You said you did it off the tractor. Were you able to get that to work or not?
Yeah, I had to put a voltage divider. There's 3 wires for an HP. And I had to put a voltage divider in there to get the middle pin down to, I don't think it was 6.2 volts or something like that. But
Yeah,
once I did that, I was able to fire it up.
I went through all that and I finally came to the conclusion if you just put a resistor from the supply to that center pin that it works. And I kept running into things they're talking about specific voltages, but I never found out that I really needed to do that. And I had some kind of a boost converter that I bought. So it's just a module. I hooked it up to the battery supply and then it put out I set it to 19.1 volts output. As long as I had that resistor on there, then it would power the laptop. So when you get around to doing that again, we can discuss that and compare what we did and see what makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think I tested anything besides the 6.2 volts because I saw someplace that's what it needed. So And I just was doing what I was told.
And then if you have a Dell laptop, it's got the same connector and it's also a 19.1 volt power supply, but they've got that center pin is connected to like a one wire serial EEPROM or something that's in the charger. So inside of that, it says, here's the model number, here's how much power it can put out. So it's a lot of screwing around to get that to work. The easiest way is take an old charger and pull that chip out and just put it on what you're trying to do if that's something you need to do. So the HP
think
is
I'll
much
avoid
easier.
that.
Yeah, the HP, you just put resistors on it, it works.
So that's where I'm at, inch by inch, one onion layer at a time.
Are we going to get demos today? It looks like you're sitting outside.
No demos. I'm was just testing the Starlink to see if that was going to work. So I don't have so I don't have if I started to drive it, I'd have to lasso it or something. Well, no, I guess I could put it in neutral. Yeah, the neutral's supposed to work, but even that is still a little bit dodgy.
So did you get back to trying to figure out how to stop the engine on your fuel injected lawnmower? That's the one you were shorting a pin to ground and you shouldn't have, and you blew out something. Did you pursue that anymore?
I do not have another alternative besides the original.
Because I think you should tie into your seat switch, because you had to pull that tab out of the seat switch to keep it from shorting those pins together. Well, I think you should hook your relay up across the two pins there. Like you might have 4 wires on yours. You're either have 2 wires or 4 wires, and I think one of them is always, always if the seat switch goes, it kills the engine. That one probably ties into your if you've got the blade running or not. It's probably what the other set's for. So you could try one set and see which ones of those. And I don't know if it's got 4 wires. I don't know if the two on the right are one and the two on the left are the other, or say the two outside ones is one circuit, the two inside ones the other circuit. So that's if you did you have any kind of wiring diagram for this thing?
I don't have an official wiring diagram from the company. Matt always told me to call them and get that, but that's just an action I never got done. But using the seat switch, there's yellow wires and green wires, and there is about 5 wires going into that. I don't know if I have, see if I can find it quickly, but yeah, I like your suggestion.
Or if there's another safety switch somewhere that if that activates, it kills the engine, where you could use, the seat switch, if it has too many wires on it, maybe let's see, what's the other one? There's like the blade clutch. You get your brake switch. Probably the seat switch is going to be the easiest way to if you can figure out which wires on that to use.
Yeah, this is a, I mean, let's see, got a YouTube video here that I don't. Manufacturing automation listed. I'll post it in the chat. I don't have a picture of my setup, but in my notes, I did have that link. But that's a wonderful suggestion, I think, is to knock off the hillbilly approach.
The other thing you can do, take your switch and get an ohm meter and just check, see which wires make contact as you push the switch or not push the switch. Just another minor point. I see if you play that video you just posted, it's got some music in the background. You have to be careful about on YouTube. If you have any music when you play, you play somebody's YouTube video that has background music, they will come back and say you are in copyright violation, and they'll just cancel our video completely. So keep that in mind, that if you go to play things, I don't know how to turn it on so you can hear my audio on YouTube, but I see you figured it out, and so now that's a problem. So if you play something, they'll say, oh, copyright violation, you can't have this. So I don't know what, maybe we go back and edit and cut it out, but I don't know.
Yeah, can you see that screen?
I can see that, and it does look like you have 5 wires, which is, I don't know why it would have 5 wires. So that's another issue, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it bigger.
That might be something out if you go out and search for it and say Cub Cadet seat switch, modify, or everybody's going to tell you how to take those tabs out, but I don't know if they're going to tell you what the wires actually are on it.
One more time, you were saying take an ohm meter and what with it?
Just take the switch itself and hook the ohm meter to 2 of the pins, and then click the switch on and off, and figure out which combination of pins on there are switches.
You say that like my wife didn't throw away the seat with the switch attached.
You don't have a switch anywhere?
I don't think I do. I think the seat got tossed and along with it the switch, but anyway, we'll look to see what I can figure out on the safety switch, because that's definitely a better solution.
Because that's just a matter of they're looking at multiple switches in series to decide when to shut the engine down or not, and so you're not screwing around with the engine and the fuel injection and all the electronics. So it's something that's just has to be there for it to work. So
Yeah, I definitely don't want to do what I did the last time or have to replace the condenser again,
so
whatever caused
you
that.
you could just go out on Google and say, show me Cub Cadet lawn tractor electrical wiring, and probably any of them that pop up, they're probably going to do them all the same. So whether it's your model or not, you might be able, figure out if they show you a switch at that point. Say, does it have 5 wires going to it? And if so, that probably it's going to work the same way. But
Good suggestion. Anyway, anything going on in your world?
I don't think so. I did look at that. I showed that green robot platform from last time. And I'll look at it a little bit harder. And yeah, it looks like if you just take out 2 screws, that whole mechanical thing comes off the bottom of it. So I can just get another piece of plywood and drill my holes and screw it down, and just go with that. Even though those motors were awfully slow, I think they were 65-to-1 reduction. But I can pop those off, and I've got some that look just like they're physically the same, but they're 20-to-1 reduction. So I've got the option of making it faster or not. It's just that it moved awfully darn slow with those motors on it. But for what I'm doing right now, it may be just fine to do that.
Just curious, do you have any idea how many amps those are drawing?
No.
And I don't really have any particular reason for asking. I was just watching I'm charging my LiPo battery with a power supply, and once it gets full, it doesn't draw any power. And then I was running the servo for the transmission, and what I think was like full reverse and full forward was drawing then the power supply was kicking on and pulling an amp into the battery. So I don't know if that meant if it was it was a data point. I don't know how many amps the servo was pulling, but it triggered the power supply to jam another amp into the battery.
So that probably means the servo is drawing 1 amp then, but I don't know. That's just a guess from what you explained. I think that's probably what it means.
Well, I think we can turn off recording and I'll tell you a crazy idea for if you do another robot that can carry a 5-gallon bucket.
Okay.